And welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show on our continued journey to 500,000 subscribers. Look, we're getting there slowly. Need your help. Hit subscribe, watch, comment. Keep those comments coming and share with your friends because the stupidity, the insanity, the grift, it just doesn't stop. Look, let me be clear about something. Right now, this very second, Trump is currently in Saudi Arabia at a investment forum after meeting, of course, with Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. And he claimed that after this trip to the Middle East, that there will be 2 million more American jobs. Play the clip.
As you know, we have the biggest business leaders in the world here. They're going to walk away with a lot of checks for a lot of things that you're going to provide. And in the United States, it's probably 2 million jobs that we're talking about this visit. So, number one, I like visiting with you, and we've known each other very well, and I really believe we like each other a lot. And number two, for the United States, we've brought tremendous investment in and tremendous jobs, and we'll continue to service your great country very well.
It's truly amazing. I want you to think about that. 2 million more jobs. Based off of what? I mean, later, during that meeting, he seemed to doze off. Play that clip.
Read a lot of the material now out of Saudi Arabia, and Mohammed bin Salman is saying we need a resolution on a Palestinian state. And I don't necessarily recall several years ago, pre-October 7th, as that being a...
Okay, listen, man needs his sleep. Trump's also supposed to visit Qatar later this week, and while I spoke about it yesterday, more and more of the GOP leaders are also starting to speak out, as I did, against Trump violating the emoluments clause and thinking that he can accept a $400 million aircraft from them. Now, as I've said, when Fox News turns against you, you know that things are bad. This is what Maria Bartiromo said about the Qatar plane this morning and Trump agreeing to accept it. Play the clip.
Look, let's face it, Hamas is based in Qatar. Okay? How do they explain that away? Hamas is based in Qatar. And what about this plane? What are your thoughts on this jumbo jet that the Qataris want to give President Trump?
Well, I'm still seeking to get more clarity and information on it. I think obviously from the president's standpoint, you know, he wants to be able to have a plane that meets the needs of him and his administration. But obviously, we don't want to be straight up accepting any type of gift from any foreign government. Certainly not, one that can be viewed in a way that obviously has been presented here. So a lot more information that I think needs to come out on it.
Congressman, thank you so much. Good to see you.
Yeah, let me also be clear. When I listened to other members like Senator John Kennedy of Louisiana, who I literally dub as one of the stupidest members of Congress, he turned around and trying to, of course, advocate for Trump accepting this gift. He turns around and he says, well, didn't the United States accept a gift from France? The Statue of Liberty? Norm Eisen was on CNN this morning, and he actually turned around and he said, sure, that's absolutely fine, except if Trump decided he was going to take the Statue of Liberty with him after he left the office. Then it's an emoluments violation. Meanwhile, Caitlin Collins showed 2 clips of Trump speaking about Qatar, showing how his opinion on the country has changed. Play that clip.
But I thought it was a great gesture.
Now, all of this stands in contrast to what the president said about Qatar the last time he was in office, when he accused them of being a sponsor of terrorism.
The nation of Qatar, unfortunately, has historically been a funder of terrorism at a very high level. And in the wake of that conference, nations came together and spoke to me about confronting Qatar over its behavior. So we had a decision to make. Do we take the easy road, or do we finally take a hard but necessary action? We have to stop the funding of terrorism. I decided, along with Secretary of State Rex Tillerson, our great generals and military people, the time had come to call on Qatar to end its funding. They have to end that funding.
And nothing says funding is okay like a $400 million floating palace in the sky. Meanwhile, she asked Republican Representative Rich McCormack about the ethical complications of a gift such as this. Play the clip.
As we're waiting for the president to arrive here in Riyadh, on what we mentioned at the top of the show and that CNN confirmed yesterday, this major gift that the United States is going to be accepting from Qatar, a free luxury jet, is that something that you personally are comfortable with?
It's just kind of something that new came up. I haven't really evaluated a historical concept. I know there's a bigger gift than I think than we've ever gotten before, but I'm sure that we'll run it through the legal course to make sure that it's not going to be something nefarious. Each country is going to try to woo us in different ways. I think this is just an offer of friendship, but I'm sure it'll have to be legal if we're going to accept it.
Do you think it's ethical for the president to accept a $400 million plane from the Qataris, who you just heard in his first term, he accused them of sponsoring terrorism?
I haven't heard that exactly, but I can tell you that if it's unethical, that'll be up to the people to decide, the president to decide. But it's a matter of if it's illegal, if it gives undue influence. I think Qatar has been a good actor in some ways in negotiating with foreign entities, both on our side against us, and basically being the conduit to try to get hostages back.
Way to go, McCormack. Let me be very clear about something, and I think Caitlin actually got it wrong here. The gift is not to the United States of America. It is to the president of the United States of America, because he intends on taking it. You know, one of the beauties of having somebody like Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Department of Defense, who's going to accept this gift, is that Pete Hegseth is going to turn it over to Trump before he ends up leaving office. Now, meanwhile, Representative Rand Paul also spoke out against the plane, saying that it isn't worth the negative perception and that there is a conflict of interest with Qatar. Play that clip.
On the jet, I do think the jet probably sends the wrong signal to people, and I don't like the look or appearance of it, so I would hope that he would reject it. The Constitution specifically says you can't take gifts from foreign leaders. It doesn't say you can't take gifts unless they're going to be for official use. We also do a lot of business with Qatar, and so we sell them a lot of arms. Essentially, the United States is the biggest arms merchant in the world. We sell arms everywhere, and they're lucrative deals for the arms manufacturers, but I have actually tried to hold up arms sales before to both Saudi Arabia and to Qatar because of their human rights records. So I don't know that if we can have an honest appraisal of their human rights record and decisions on arms sales if we're receiving $400 million gifts from a country. So I'm not for it.
Finally, way to go, Rand. Meanwhile, I want to end on a clip of Democratic Senator Andy Kim relaying a very similar message. Will Trump listen to any of these people? Look, I know the guy better than all of them combined. The answer is probably not. But we have to see what's going to happen in the upcoming days. Play this clip.
I want to ask you, Senator, before we go, because we heard from a Republican congressman at the beginning of the show, Rich McCormack of Georgia, about the president's plans to accept a luxury jet from Qatar. I wonder, do you have concerns about that and whether or not it violates that clause of the Constitution that says that public office holders cannot accept gifts from foreign governments?
Yeah, look, I really do think that when all is said and done, the American people know that this is wrong, that it is wrong to be able to accept a gift, certainly of this magnitude. I mean, I think about how I got into this Senate seat is because of, about foreign donations, gold bars when it comes to foreign governments and elected officials in the United States. We know it's wrong. The president knows it's wrong. And I just wish there was a common sense here where people can recognize that. And that's, across the political spectrum.
Let me be clear about something here. I wrote this morning in my Substack, which I called The Infomercial Presidency Hits Riyadh. And I want to be very clear to each and every one of you that this is what America First looks like when it's translated through Trump speak. Trump first, Trump always. And I want to also explain to you something that I wrote, that every overseas trip taken by Trump is going to double as a real estate scouting mission. Every policy decision is run through the filter of, and here, how does this benefit the org? His tariffs might have tanked American manufacturing, but they sent investors and developers in the Gulf lining up for autographs, real estate deals, and hotel contracts. He's like the world's sleaziest concierge, offering photo ops and access to U.S. power structures in exchange for sweetheart deals and beachfront towers. And while all of this plays out, Trump's base still clings to the fantasy that he's some kind of blue-collar billionaire who's fighting the elites. Fighting the elites? Well, hey, MAGA morons, he is the elite, and he's not draining the swamp. He's franchising it. Let me be very clear about something. It is why I constantly say to you, we need to be heard. Our voices are important. We must not allow things like this to take place. We watched it take place during the first administration with Jared and Ivanka setting themselves up beautifully with the Middle East, specifically Saudi. And so again, I say to you, please share this with your friends. Let's get to 500,000. Then I'm going to be pushing people to take us to 1 million because our voices are necessary as we go into the 2026 midterm elections. And as always, thanks for listening. Hey, everyone. First of all, thanks for watching. We're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.